Good morning. Welcome to Urban Spools here on Saturday, September 28th. This is our September Clubhouse. We're very excited to be here. We have so much good news to tell you. I'm Ashley, Director of Education. I'm here with my friend Marianne and Stefanie. You probably all know Stefanie, but we act like we don't know her. We just met her. So we have Stefanie and Marianne who are helping lead Block of the Month. We are missing Penelope this month. She is my right hand on Block of the Month. So we're missing her. So if you're out there, Penelope, just know that. Okay. We are also missing, are we missing anyone else? Joanne is not with us today, but I want to say hi to Joanne. Okay, let's talk about Block of the Month. We're so excited. We have so much to get through. We are going to start with, let's start with Botanica because we're nearing, well, no, I go out of order.
Oh my God.
I have a list. I told them to help follow it. And then I'm going out of order. So right off the bat. You want me to start? Let's start with Botanica because that has the most info to give. So those of you who have started Botanica, you've worked with Joanne, and now you're going to work with Stefanie. Emily, do you mind turning the camera just to show some of the big blocks Stefanie's gotten done? Oh, and then she's got a couple more over here to show. I'll hold one for you.
Okay. Well, they're already done.
Oh, you want to put them up there?
They're supposed to be up here, but we'll get that ready. I'm sorry about that.
Well, that's okay. You may want to show, do you need to show the back of them or anything?
No.
Okay.
So do you want me to talk about what's this month?
Yes, let's talk about this month's.
All right. So admittedly, with the fair, I am a little behind. So hopefully everybody has received month 1 and month 2. I've sent out video tutorials for those 2 months. I'm hoping maybe today, Emily, we can get month 3 done. But overall, if you are keeping on track month to month, you should know that we're actually on month 6. So month 6 is the last month of piecing. And I will need your help here because we were talking about over Slack where I'm a little bit at a loss.
Yeah.
So on this specific month, what you are doing are the corners. So the piecing in the hoop is actually very simple. You're only going to be doing, let's see, 3 times 4 is 12. You're going to be doing 12 of these little mini blocks. And these will be
so sweet looking.
Yeah.
Look at that beautiful stitching.
These will be on the corners, and they'll be using the same exact colors you've been using in here. And this is one of the very few times we're actually going to put color on black. If you've been watching and seen some of our shop samples, I don't quilt anything on our black. We're going to do that after.
Okay.
So these are going to go on all 4 corners. Now here on all 4 corners, here's the conundrum I came up with that I reached out to Ashley because I don't know what to do. In quilting, we normally tell people never ever put sashing just the length of your quilt and slapping it on.
Mm-hmm.
But to get from one corner to the next, you've got to put a sash, and get from this to the next corner, you got to put a sash, right? A black piece of fabric with some batting attached to it.
So these are like cornerstones.
Yes.
And the rest will be like your border or sashing between the cornerstones.
Mm-hmm. And you're not ever supposed to just go till you reach the next corner.
Frequently people will just sew it down and then chop it off and then add. We don't want to do that. We want to teach you the right way to do it if you don't know. You have it. Look, we have another sample here. We'll see this again on another quilt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you want to measure those. Those help with the long arming. In long arming or quilting or anything, what happens is every time you just slash off that trim, that border trim, you are letting fabric just naturally frays out.
Yeah.
And it actually distorts it and creates ruffles in your borders. And you'll always have ruffles if you don't measure. Mm-hmm. Also, measuring helps make sure each edge of your quilt are going to be the same size. If you're just sewing it down, you may have stretched one in or something. The borders can be used to square up your quilt, to bring it up a little here, lengthen it a little bit here, and make sure they're equal. So if you measure borders so that they match, it guarantees each edge of your quilt is exactly the same size. If you've ever had a quilt and at the end it's kind of going like that, that's the frustration. You've probably put borders on.
So
we'll
let's
do
do
that.
it this time. I don't want us to get all the way this far and then ruin it at the end.
Yes.
So here's.
Go ahead.
Thank you for explaining, because I
Yeah,
was
I
like,
hope you didn't
sometimes I know quilty rules, but I don't know why.
Yes.
I'm like, I don't know. They told me not to, so just don't do it. So here's my recommendation. What you're going to need to, and you please speak up if I'm saying this wrong.
Okay.
What you're going to need to do is on everybody's, I don't know where you did your seam. So when you sew this together, everybody's could be off by about 1/4 of an inch, or, you know, there's going to be differences. So you need to literally measure from here to here, from here to your next edge line, not the edge of your fabric, your edge line. And then from this edge line to here, and from here, sorry, I got too far. I'm only 5 feet, guys. And then from here to here. And then also don't forget this last one from here to here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. You're going to measure that distance. Now, I'm just going to give you a theoretical number because we all did different size blocks, right? Some did the A group, the B group, the C group, the double A's, the triple A's. When you measure that, let's just say it's 60 inches. And let's say the top is 60.25 or 0.5.
Yeah.
You're going to then want to cut your fabrics an average of the two.
Yeah.
So it'll be 6.25. So
Yes.
this is 6.5.
You're talking about measuring.
And that's 6.
Okay.
You're going to cut each of those at 6.25 for the top and the bottom sashing. Same thing over here. You're going to measure your trees, okay, and then measure going down, and it's the same thing. You may get 60.25 and 60.75. I don't know. So then you're going to cut both of those sashings 60.5.
Yeah.
Those are made up numbers to kind of walk you through the process.
And you'll want to measure after you've sewn your blocks together. All your stuff together.
Oh, we don't measure before.
No,
Okay, so
that way all the seam allowance is gone.
got it. So do you remember how I said measure from this seam line to this seam line? No, you want to sew all of that together, then measure from where you've sewn here to sewn here. But you still, it's the same exact process. Just instead of using your raw edge where that seam line is at right here, you're going to sew all of the row together and then measure the width of each block. This is going to be very confusing, so we will definitely have a video tutorial on step 6.
So for those
I was stumped myself. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my, how are we going to do these
So
corners?
everyone who's in it is now receiving videos. I called everybody. I talked to most of you. Great info, great feedback. A lot of people had not started yet. So that kind of works out, right? Because now you're receiving a video, and now you can go and start with part 1. And then, so you're going to have 6 months of videos, and then I recommend we do a 7th video of what you're showing how to measure that.
Sure. Well, the month 6 is literally all they're doing. So it'll be the world's shortest video.
That's okay. It's a short video.
Yeah.
We want to hold hands all the way through it. It can be
It'll
short.
be like,
That's
this,
okay.
this, we're done.
Yeah. So some videos may be significantly shorter than others, but we're going to do the video for you.
Okay, so I can do it month 7.
Yeah. And then the other thing, if you didn't get to talk to me, you didn't get to hear about, is Stephanie's going to do sit and sews, and we're extending them another 6 months.
Oh, can I talk about that real
Yes. So please share that.
Okay.
That's exciting.
quick? So, Ashley is letting me do one of my dreams. I do believe this is the direction that we're going to be going in the future with some block of the months. Not all of them. Not all of them. But I can see this becoming a thing. So what we're going to do next is once we have all of this top pieced, and it's technically the top and the batting, which is not really a top, but
It's
you
almost
have your
a
top and
quilt
batting.
as you go. It's almost a
Yes.
quilt as you go.
I'm going to be picking out a fabric.
A backing fabric.
Thank you. I'm very tired. I'm so sorry. Like my mind went like I'm like that thing that goes on the back. I'm gonna pick out a backing fabric, and then I'm gonna turn it into Kathy, and she's gonna baste it on the long arm, which is it's not even that expensive. It's
Yeah, she does it pretty quickly, so you're basically paying for the loading of it.
yeah.
Her to kind of whip through it. Several of our customers already do this. They like to free motion quilt or use their Sashiko machine. So they'll come and have it basted here.
And
I can't remember the
$25.
cost. I'm
I'm scared to quote that because why? She's like, Stefan, nothing is $25.
Yeah.
But it is not a significant cost at all. And then for the next 6 months, I'm going to go block by block, and we're going to do the quilting in the hoop. So we're going to quilt this block with the embroidery pattern that I'm going to create. And of course, you're going to repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. So that when we're done, we will also have it custom quilted. Instead of just throwing it on the long arm. And I am so excited
So
about
it
that.
is truly a machine embroidered quilt from beginning to end, which is going to be very exciting. So we feel like we're the first ones to have a block of the month quilt with machine embroidery. And we want to take it a little further. So that's another 6 months. Costs you nothing more to talk to us, to hear us on Saturdays and learn about it. If you would like to join us, we are having a sit and sew for this in the evenings to be more open to everybody. If you haven't opened a kit, join the Botanica sit and sew. Stefanie will be here. She'll help you get started and get going. If you have opened them and you've been keeping up, but you have some problem areas, Stefanie will help you address that. If you are to this phase and you're ready to sew them together but you're nervous, Stefanie will help you with that. And then of course the most exciting is she's got, hers will be done and ready for the quilting. So she can kind of talk to us about how to go about that quilting. Bring your machine. We're going to be here in the classroom. So it'll be a lot of fun. So wherever you are in the Botanica story, you're welcome to join us. It's $20 for 3 hours and her undivided attention, which, you know, you got to focus her. Focus her. We'll bring her coffee.
Yeah.
We bring her coffee, but she's got so much energy and it's so exciting. If you have said, I wanted to do this and I've fallen off the wagon or life has gotten in the way, just pick it up and join us. We're good. We're good wherever you are in Botanica.
And I'm just excited about doing the custom quilting.
I think that's going to be exciting.
That is so much fun too.
And we really want everyone to get started on this because we have had so much fun that, and it's coming out so beautifully, that we are going to do a different one next year. So that is on the horizon for next year. So we want you to finish this year so we can get going on there. Okay. Now I'm going to come and then we're going to go down and then we'll come back around. So let me do Penelope's. If you are doing Ruby Star, if you don't mind helping me, ladies.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
We are doing this. I can't remember what row this is on your pattern. It might be row 8. That was a little confusing last month, but on the front of your kit, it tells you what row we're on. So look at that. When you're like, why isn't it row? It's month 2. Why is it not row 2? We're moving around a bit. Yeah, a lot of it is so dependent. 6. This is row 6. Okay, thank you. We've got all these little squares you're going to be cutting. And then what I want to show you on the back, so your kit only has the pink multi-star. On the back, if you can get close here, Emily, we wanted to look at the pressing and how she is pressing into her picture blocks, because that's considered the darkest fabric at this point. So she pressed this and then joined these rows, and then she opened and pressed here. So I wanted you to see her pressing because that really helps square things up and get them nice and tight. And then we can look at the front here, Emily. We can see her beautiful points. And so some of these, they're going to be challenging because this is a printed fabric. They've printed this panel. The fabric goes through those printing presses so fast that they do get askew, which is why Penelope recommended you hand cut each block. Another thing you'll notice different, if you can hold this up again, ladies, is on the pattern, they put their blocks in color order and kind of did a gradient thing going down. Penelope chose a different method. She wanted to move them around a bit. You can put favorites up here. I'm not saying that's what Penelope did, but she moved it around. She wanted to spread her color out, which I think is beautiful. So consider playing it. You might want to put a favorite right here and put the least favorites on the edges where they're less visible maybe, or you might have a different color order you want to do. You might even, okay, go ahead and put it down.
Sorry.
You might even want to substitute some fabrics in there. This is a ruby star, so we know the ruby star lovers. You have lots of fussy cuttable fabric, meaning you have beautiful scraps. You might want to put, you know, maybe you love the horses and you need 3 or 4 horses. So go through your scraps if you want to substitute in for those. And then, of course, starching if you're a starcher, and remember the pressing. All right. I hope I did Penelope justice. She's making it beautiful. And then, Marian, do you mind hanging that up there? And then Emily can show all 3 rows that we have done so far. Not in this order, but this is the order we're hanging it in. Thank you, Marianne. That orange bro is still my favorite. I think because the kitty's face jumps out at me. At this point, don't worry about the length of your rows. They look different lengths on here, but it's just the way we're hanging them. Some of your rows might be different lengths. We can problem solve that with Penelope when she comes back. So don't worry about that at this point. Just hang them up there and enjoy them. Also, don't spend a lot of time showing them like I just did and stretching them. We don't want to stretch anything out. So just kind of put them up there like that's where they'll stay till Penelope comes home and is ready to work. She'll probably add another row to it. So it's going to be beautiful.
That's awesome.
It's looking great, isn't
I love
it?
it.
Yes. It's so pretty. All right. I think we're good on Ruby Star. I hope you're following along. Let's go ahead and go to Monster Mashup with
Okay.
Marianne. I keep calling it Mashup, but it's Monster Mash.
Yes. All right.
So let's
Well,
clear some
we
space
are
for you.
at the. This is the last month of our block of the month,
Hold that in.
and
Okay.
I have about 2/3 of it assembled.
Look how sweet.
And so,
Go ahead, sorry.
speaking of sashing, these would be the sashing pieces. These are the cornerstone pieces. So there's 24 sashing strips, and then there's 16 blocks. And within each block, you're going to have like 64 corners and 64 of these single strips that you can pick from your background fabrics and fussy cut those in.
So yeah, you'll be going through your scraps for those,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Let me see. Oh, pretty. Sorry.
And so, and then once you have all your sashing and your corner pieces, then you can just start assembling them in your specified rows, which the pattern really does a great job of explaining how to put it together, but it's just, you
I don't know if they have that fabric yet.
oh, okay, well then it should be in this month's.
What month are we on?
We're on the last month.
Oh, are we? Okay,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
yes, they do. They do. I apologize.
Yeah, so,
Oh, lovely.
so then, yeah, you just start to put it together in rows. I did the top sashing with the first row of blocks, and then I did the next row sashing with the next row of blocks, and then I put those two together. Again, pretty simple, lining up the points and the interior
Corner
pieces
blocks.
here.
Yeah, little corner blocks.
And pressing them towards the sashing is what you want to do with your seams. I will point out, for instance, one of the primary things you want to think about when you go to assemble your blocks with the sashing is that you square up your blocks to 16.5 inches. And I'll admit I made a rookie mistake and I squared my block up to a 16, and you can see on the first block over here I had to go back and add a little.
You may come close.
Add a little border around it in order to get back to my 16.5. So
And can we show these?
yes,
This is an example.
Yes.
But I mean, this is good. This is good learning. Good learning. We all do these things. Here's an option to fix it.
I think I got ahead of myself and
Mm-hmm.
didn't pay attention
Those
to
of
the
you that
pattern.
are new to quilting or blocks of the month or any kind of pattern situation, there is always a finished size and an unfinished size to your blocks. So when you sew blocks together, do you mind me interrupting?
No,
Sorry.
please go ahead.
So 16 inch, it says 16 inch finished, which means once it's sewn into the quilt, they will measure out 16 inches. That means they're 16 and a half unfinished, which means raw like this before they go in. And of course you want all of yours to measure out 16 and a half unfinished. So you'll take your big ruler, if you're using your mat, however you're doing, and you want to make sure each of these are 16 and a half. Now, why do they do that? One, because when we piece together, things can get a little wonky. We can get 16 and a quarter on one edge and stuff like that. And we want to square these up before putting them in quilt form. The other thing is, we all know Frank is bigger.
Yes.
He came out bigger.
Like 17 and a half
Yeah.
inches unfinished.
So that's great if you're going to put him in a pillow or something like that. You don't care. And Frank, bigger the better. He was my favorite block anyway. But for the quilt and the pattern, he needs to be cut down to 16 and a half unfinished. And so if you were like Mary Ann and we just went crazy, cut some 16-inch blocks, I suggested to her that we just add some borders on there. And she did it, and I think it looks fabulous. You can't tell the difference. This is how you fix it when you do this on any pattern. Yes, you can remake the block. Wah, who wants to do that? But then, see, once it's in here, I didn't even notice this was here until she pointed it out. And once it's quilted, it truly quilts away. And this is even with the busy fabric. So, what's another option? You could border all of them.
You're right.
With a solid. That would be, you could put a little piece of black around each one. Another option would be just to cut them all down to 16. I don't know how much you'll lose on Frank then, but
Well, I did consider that,
Yes.
but I had already cut all my sashing and my corner pieces, which would have
you'd
made
have
me to go back and scale
really
those
double
down.
work.
It really became a domino effect.
Yeah.
So, to me, putting a border around it was the easiest
I think it
fix.
looks fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Looks great. You're doing a good job. It's going to be a great quilt. The other thing is, I don't know that we put black in here. When we gave the kit to Marianne and said, make this, ta-da, you can do it, we had black. Later, we got the charcoal in. The charcoal came later. So you may have the charcoal which matches this. I've also seen this quilt done with some black and white fabrics for the borders, which is also lovely. Feel like making it your own. So do what you want. We are providing your fabric, but it's a multi-colored thing, and it can blend with any of your other fabrics. But you're doing a great job. This is beautiful.
Thank you so much.
And this, I know what a pain that must be to do, those little tiny pieces. But it's so sweet. It just makes it so sweet.
Well, that's what I was going to say too. On the corner and the sashing pieces, because there's so many, I went ahead, I cut everything, and then it was really just like an assembly
line
of just sewing it,
nice,
sewing the components, and then sewing them together. And obviously you have to, once you're sewing all the pieces together, you got to press it. So, but at first you can do like this top piece and the bottom piece, and I just did all of those.
Nice.
And it was quick work, It wasn't very hard. Then I went and I spent all my time ironing them out.
Yeah.
So just an
Lovely.
assembly line, and it wasn't hard. I just need to learn to read a pattern better, I guess.
We're all in that way. And this is good learning. We all do it. We all get excited and do it.
Yes.
It's just something we do. So this is wonderful. All right. I don't mean to kick you out of the way,
Okay,
but I'm
thank
going
you.
to fold you up over here. All right. Now we'll come back to me. Where's the pen? Check off what we've done. Okay. We are starting Good Gracious. I'm a month behind, but Good Gracious is our skill building block of the month. We're using our Anna Marie Horner fabrics, and we're exploring how to make a traditional block. We're really just going back to basics. So this one is your first month, And while it has more pieces than this, it's actually easier because you're just making, I'm going to fold this up, you're just making little sweet 4 patches, which you can do, if this is really the way the block goes, this way. So that's a 4 patch. I did have critique that I should have made the arrows go all the same way. I didn't even pay attention to the arrows. I was so focused on getting my stripes all the same way. But a 4 patch is a very traditional block. It was easy to hand piece. So when quilting started, this was a very basic piece and oftentimes was a starter block. And then of course you can add these big ones, and now you have a larger 4 patch. So it's called a double 4 patch. So very traditional block, very sweet, easy to piece, great beginner friendly block. Now this one is a 9 patch, exactly like the 4 patch, except you're doing it in rows of 3. And what you practice on this one is matching your points up. So I did do the nesting here where I press to the dark fabric, which is that middle one. Now you'll notice online we have this in yellow. Well, we had some feedback that yellow wasn't pretty enough. So we switched to green. You can choose any background you want. Now we're behind on starting this. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, don't worry, it's coming in the mail. The other thing, this is the first month, these 2 blocks. We're working on the directions. We want to make the directions really clear because we are promoting this as a very beginner friendly. Now, if you are advanced and you just love Anna Marie Horner, join us. It's so much fun. And we are practicing. I snuck in some echinacea. That's the most popular Anna Marie Horner. It runs out. Your kits do have a little bit of echinacea so that you can fussy cut. And we threw in a little bit extra so that if you wanted to use it again later on in the quilt, you can. So you are going to learn fussy cutting. What is fussy cutting? It is centering on an image in the fabric and then repeating it. I could have just cut this wild and had like half a echinacea here and over here, which is essentially what I did with this yellow. I didn't fussy cut the yellow on the 4 patch. I did fussy cut the flowers on the 9 patch. So I really want to play with fussy cutting throughout this project. And of course, we're going to use all of Anna Marie Horner's fabric. I am using this green. You call and let me know what color you want to use. I can FaceTime you the colors we have and we can package that up. We do still have some kits available and we would love to have you join. It's not too late because I've been slow getting started. But I'm here with you now and we're going to go. And these will get progressively more difficult as we go along. So if you're an experienced quilter, I would encourage you to really focus on technique and precision. If you're a beginner, throw caution to the wind, jump in and learn about quilting. We'd love to have you for that. All right, I hope so. Hope you enjoy it. I always feel like we need to clap and then escort off the stage. Okay, thank you. All right, I want Stefanie to talk about the new project starting, the mini alphabet.
All right, so those who may or may not know me, I am a huge Alice in Glass family. Huge. And I love Juicy Juice as well. So I learned about this last year at market, but they didn't have any dates set. And about 2 months ago, they finally set the dates. So we weren't able to promote it all year, but we're promoting it now. And I really hope you join us. So starting on October 7th, we are going to be participating in the mini alphabet workshop and sew along. So if you go to urbanspools.com, it's splashed right up at the top of the homepage. In those, you'll be joining me and Kathy and Deb. We will be making 4-inch blocks of the alphabet. Now here's the really cool thing. We're not making an ABC quilt. That is just the pattern. They had to put something on the front.
Right.
You can say whatever you want. So I've been trying to think of what I want mine to say. If you see our October sticker, which actually we'll be showing later, I've been thinking of putting that on mine. Not all who wander are lost. I don't know what I'm going to put on mine, but the words can be whatever you want.
It could be a
So-
family joke.
Exactly.
word,
Or you could just maybe just do your last name.
last name,
Uh,
baby's name.
It doesn't have to be the ABC. So if you sign up, you can sign up for 1 or 2 workshops. We will be showing and sewing along at the same rate as Allison Glass and Giuseppe on this sew along. And we'll be watching those workshops in the classroom and sewing right along with them. If you want to sign up for the entire program, you would get this pattern. And you'll also get a fat eighth, and I'm going to just show you because they're smaller than fat quarter. You don't really need much for this because these are all, it's micro piecing with FPP. If you're not a pro, don't worry. That's why we do these workshops. We're here to support you along with that. So you're going to get 40 fabrics this size plus the pattern, and then plus you get all the workshops. And we tried to make it as affordable as possible. We have them at $100 to attend all the workshops throughout October, November, December.
So is that a weekly workshop, bi-weekly? Weekly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a bargain. I mean,
Yeah.
when you think about it, you're technically paying for 5 because we normally charge $20 per workshop. You're technically paying for 5 and getting 3 or 50. I don't know how many weeks it is.
Yeah.
I think it's like 15 weeks worth of workshops. So we wanted to do that because we want friends to sew.
Well, and I would like to remind everyone, if you did trinkets with us,
yes,
that this is
Yes.
right along with that.
Mhm.
So
and we'll be here too, just to
Yeah,
kind of walk you
absolutely.
through. Figure out what words you're gonna put on.
we
there.
find stuff we like to play and do.
Yeah.
And that's what we share. Yes. I love that.
Oh, it also includes, I forgot, membership also includes a 30% off coupon to the background fabric of your choice because you need
Nice.
like 5 yards.
Okay.
So we did not want to dictate your quilt's going to be a white background.
Yeah.
You can pick whatever
So-
color you want to go with your fabrics. You don't even have to do that part. So
It says it finishes at 60 by 64. And of course that may depend on what you're writing.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be it even says on the package, easily modified. So
Yeah.
Say what you want your way. I like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
sweet.
So super
All
excited about
right,
that
that's
one.
exciting. I love the colors. And foundation paper piecing, if you're new to it, we do have an intro to foundation paper piece class. It's a one-time class, 3 hours. If you want to get a handle on just what that is, it's a fun way to really bring color. For this set, to really bring color to each letter. And other things, like if you're doing animals, you can really get detailed work and crazy angles that are easier than traditional piecing, which is why people do it.
I wanted to add one more thing.
Sure.
I did also restock their previous mini patterns
That
that
are
are
trinkets.
also no,
Oh, no.
it's you remember the mini series that they
Yes,
did?
yeah.
It was a little bit smaller like this.
Okay, yes.
Different than trinkets. I've
Okay.
restocked all of those as well.
Nice.
Because they happen to be the same exact size.
Oh,
So you can
mix
even
them
use
in.
those and mix those in because they're all the
Genius.
same.
That would
So-
be
That's
cute.
cute.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, well that'll be fun. Lots of exciting things. I crossed it off, but I meant to check it off. Okay, the Tilda embroidery flower. I don't have anything new to show you this month, but you are proceeding along the same route, the same colors. I've had 1 or 2 people, thankfully it was Marianne for most of it, but where I shorted her some fabric. See what happens when you're staff. But if you have any problems, just email education@urbanspools.com. I will get those in your next kit, the colors you're missing or anything that you're short. That just depends on how we cut it. If we cut it enough, gave you enough for that true is it 2-inch block? 2-inch block. But it is coming along. I was gonna say you don't. I kind of caught a sneeze. Sorry, that's why my face did that. You are sewing your 2 panels together, not sewing together, you're fusing them together, and then you start your sewing. Now that you have a full top row, and this month you'll have a full middle row, to put the rows together, I do pin at that point. I think I forgot to mention that last month. At that point, when I'm putting 2 full rows together, I pin because I want all my seams to be perfectly matched. And that was the beauty of using the grid. You don't have to pin anything until the very end. We're going to do that seam, and we're going to do that seam. The quilt is in thirds, first third, middle third, bottom third. And then to put those together, you do that. You'll pin all along there.
Are you pinning one pin per seam, or are you doing 2 pins?
I'm a pinomaniac. I believe in pinning. I pin 2 per seam.
Okay.
If you have those, I love those Genius fork pins. I love those. I don't think we have any here right now. I'll let somebody know.
Huh?
But the fork pins are really great for those seams because it is kind of thick. So you want a strong pin. You don't want to use your fine silk pins on it because it kind of bends them up.
Okay.
But I'll use a fork pin and I'll pin my seams. And I'll do 2 all the way through. And then if I feel like anything's too gappy, I'll go back through there. You shouldn't have too much stretching because of the fusible. If you've had any issues with that fusible, yes, you can heat it up and pull it off. It may tear the fusible. I used scrap and I patched it right back up on the back. There are fixable things to do to these. So don't throw a project away. I believe in fixing it all. And not remaking. I'm too lazy for that. I'll fix it, but I won't remake it. So always come in and see us for problem solving. We love to do that kind of stuff. The other quilt that we know is happening next year, in addition to a machine embroidery block of the month, we will be continuing our sampler into next year. But we will also be starting Dear Jane next year. So not until midway through November, maybe the end of November, we're going to start having prep work for preparing your Dear Jane. Prep work, what does that mean? Oh, that's the fun designing and playing and imagining. So we'll be talking about colors, and we'll do a little thing on how you should go about picking your colors. Right now, I would suggest think of, is there a theme you want your Dear Jane to be? We've had animals. We've had specific colors for monochromatic. I'm playing with the idea of doing a Christmas one, Dear Jane, to kind of make it more heirloom. Plus, I can't decide on a color palette, so Christmas easy. You could do a Valentine Dear Jane. That would be sweet. Emily, can I share yours?
Yes, you can share mine.
She saw one online, and it reminded her of a Colgate box. So she is doing an aqua, red, and white one. And she's going to call it her Colgate quilt. I just think that's so fun. So I just want to throw those ideas out there and kind of inspire you. If you don't know what Dear Jane is, I encourage you to look her up. She is definitely a bucket list quilt item. It's going to take a couple of years to finish. I'm not going to lie to you about it. There are so many ways to do it. English paper piecing, foundation paper piecing, piecing, traditional piecing in applique. You do the whole thing in applique. We are going to start a Dear Jane Club where we all encourage each other to go on. Membership will include some sit and sews. I'm just looking forward to that. So I want to throw that out there. I want to keep the buzz going up about it. So many people were interested. A lot of people were like, I started mine 10 years ago and never went back to it. Go back to it. We're going to have fun with it. So you might feel like changing it up a little bit or doing something new with it. There's also a way to, if you can't finish it, if you look at that and say, 255 blocks, no way. There are layouts for Dear Jane that use fewer blocks. So I just bought a book last night called Dear Hannah. I just got it in. It's so sweet, but it's a version of Dear Jane. So she named it after herself, Dear Hannah. So look up other ways and consider naming this your quilt and making it your own. All right, so that's enough about Dear Jane. I could talk about her all day. Okay, the other thing, let's go to workshops. Here in our 10th location, we are doing workshops. What is the workshop today? I'm blanking out. Who's doing workshops?
The free workshops. Oh my God.
Oh, I scared her. She's like, what is she
I was like,
pulling
I don't
on
know
me
what
now?
she's talking about.
These are free workshops every Saturday here at Urban Spools. You do need to register online. You can register the day of. week because we can't have our location's smaller. We can't have 20 people.
Yeah.
So we have it limited, and so you do want to sign up for a space at a time, and that can tell you what spaces are available.
I can show you what we did in our last one.
What's today?
Today's motor blockheads.
Oh, today's
So-
the motor blockhead, so you're learning a little quilting block. I say a little quilting block. You were learning a quilting block as opposed to a whole quilt. That's what I mean.
So the first weekend of every month is kids sewing. It's called So Much Fun for Kids. The second weekend is hand embroidery.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, and then the third weekend is weekend sewing. Those are 30-minute sewing projects. And then the fourth weekend is the motor blockheads. But these are fantastic if you have a friend who doesn't know if they want to try sewing. Join them. Come with them. They're 30-minute little blocks. I'll pull out in a minute what we did this past one. And it's neat. It's neat seeing the joy.
They are free, no experience necessary. You don't bring a machine. You don't need to bring a needle and thread. You don't need to bring fabric. We provide all of that for you. They last 20, they're designed to last 20 minutes. They last 30. If nobody's coming in the next session, sometimes we run a little long. Sometimes people are in and out of here really quick. It's really up to you. Yes, this was the last weekend's
Weekend sewing.
weekend sewing. It was like a sweet little pouch. We even did the snap. Let me get this out. So it's like a little wallet, and you have a little, it's like a extra fold in it, and then that. And so then if you did the handwork day, you maybe did some handwork on a piece of fabric, and then you could have come in the next Saturday and done the sewing one and used it on there. So just check out the website, urbanspools.com, to find all of these things on there. It is getting a little warm. I'm feeling it now. It now. Okay, the other thing I want to share with you is, we are going to market at the end of the month.
Yes.
So Stefanie, Penelope, and I are going. We're really looking forward. So next Clubhouse, we will be filming from there. We did that for the first time last year. That was kind of fun. So you don't need to come in next month. She's like, do I come to Houston? Yeah. Yes. So if anyone, and then if you're at market and want to say hi to us, we would love that. And we also like to stay for the festival. We've traveled all the way there. Why not see the cream of the crop quilting going on in the world? So definitely if you see us there. But we go to market. That's where we order our new lines of fabric. We look at all the notions that are coming out, and all the fun things that are offering. New block of the month, what I'll be looking for. So we're going to have fun. Yeah. So just expect that for the next month. And then as always, each month we have a new sticker. So last month was our challenge accepted. It's our chicken bobbin chicken sticker. If you haven't gotten that, you have just this month, and then they go away. We go away. We usually run out, so it's limited.
I like my chicken on the sticker, but Deb pointed out it's not chicken, that's a rooster. So we're playing Bobbin Rooster this
Why
week.
is it a rooster?
She said because of the red top.
No, they all have that. Hens have that too. No, they all have red tops. They all have red tops. So it's a chicken. It's a chicken. And a rooster is a chicken. He's just a boy
see,
chicken.
there you go.
Okay. This is our next month. So you're getting a preview and maybe the words on her alphabet quilt. We don't know. Have you seen it yet?
No,
Let me show you.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Am I holding it still enough? Okay. So that's our next sticker. So you need to come in to get this one.
I have a little extra on that one. Do you know where I got that saying?
No.
From a fortune cookie. And I was like,
Oh,
that is so appropriate.
That's cute. I love this one. Oh, that's
So
sweet.
if you guys bust open a fortune cookie and you see a good saying for us, please send it, because this is really hard.
We got to create a new one every month. That's a big commitment. Okay, we've done our sticker. We did mark it. Okay, the last one, the big reveal. I am on my way from Urban Spools to the fair as Mr. Sewing Machine. So Urban Spools is helping Mr. Sewing Machine. We always do our shows as a joint venture, and we tag team and have our staff from both places staff it. So that is why I'm wearing my Mr. Sewing Machine shirt, because I'm due there in 15 minutes. I think I'll be late. That's okay. If you are at the fair, come see us. We run great specials on the baby lock machine. We also, on all the baby lock machines. And we love to show what's the newest and greatest. You may have a serger for 20 years and you're like, I got it, I know, but come see the newest technology in sergers. They really have come a long way, and it's that way with all the machines. Maybe there's a machine you've seen online. We'll just do a quick demo for it. The Solaris Vision.
Oh my God, the price that Baby Lock gave us is blowing us away.
And at the fair is when we run our best prices of the year. We try to cut them down as low as possible. So because we know we're seeing so many people out there, and we really want to get the Baby Lock word out. Those of you that have Baby Lock, you know the quality and perfection of the machines, the value. Those of you that don't, come see us. But it's just a good time. And we are in an air-conditioned building. So if you're at the fair, Big Tex, how is he standing? Is he waving? I thought he waved or something and
then
pointed.
his palms up.
Palm up. His palm points right over our building. It's a big blue building called the Grand, but it's not labeled. So I don't think it is.
Yeah, there are signs, but
you just don't
it's just
see it
easy
in all
enough the way you said. Yeah.
Big Tex, there's the food building, and next to the food building is us, conveniently located. But we are in the AC. They sell all kinds of fun things in there. If you can smell the food in our building, it's from the food people who do the crock pots and sell soup mixes.
All of us.
Which is a great way to find us. Just get in the building, smell your way to Baby Lock. Smell your way. So we're having fun out there, and Antonio's out there right now with Kathy, and then I'll be headed out there. Always stop by to say hi. We love to see our friends and our customers. It's always fun. I think that's all I have for us this week, this month. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Marianne. Thank you, Stephanie, for being with me. We miss Penelope, and we will see you next month from Houston. Good night. Goodbye. Goodbye. Good night.